Okay. Hey everyone. I want to let all of you know that my Let's Play of The Sims 2 Complete Collection will have to wait until further notice. Episode 1, well, Part 1 I should say, of The Sims 2 Complete Collection is on my YouTube, is up and ready for you to watch, and I have seen that some of you have watched it. But I want to just say that for now, just for now, until further notice, any future Let's Plays that I do of The Sims 2 or any other games will have to be put on hold until I can get an external hard drive, because I only have about 678 gigabytes of space left on my laptop that I'm using, and I can't do anything until I get an external hard drive. So, yeah. So, any Let's Plays that I'll do will have to be put on hold. I do have an external hard drive in mind that I want to get. It's going to be a while. It's going to take about at least a few months. So, as far as Let's Plays are concerned, those are on hold. But as far as Let's Talk and things like my live stuff that I do, episode 3 of Let's Talk will still happen. I still haven't come up with any topics. Well, as you guys know, Let's Talk is random. It's random. So, the part 3 of Let's Talk will still happen, but part 2 of The Sims 2 will not happen. I may end up scrapping it all together. I may end up just deleting part 1 of The Sims 2 and just starting over again with something completely different. I may end up doing that. But I can't do any Let's Plays of any games until I can get at least a 4 terabyte. That's 4 terabytes. So a 4 terabyte external hard drive. I do have one in mind. I do have a Seagate expansion 4 terabyte external hard drive in mind. I want to get that. Plus, I want to get a few other things to add to all my Let's Plays, like a microphone. At the moment, the microphone I used to use is on the fritz. It's acting weird, so I'm having to use the microphone that's in my laptop. I'm using the microphone that's in my laptop right now. I'm using my webcam right now to record with. I do have a video camera that I want to use, but it takes too long to do that. So I figured, why not do the whole YouTube capture thing, the whole webcam capture thing directly from YouTube? That way I won't have to build up all this. That way I won't have to take my video camera, plug it in, and do all sorts of stuff with that, because it's just strenuous. But I figured the easiest thing to do is just this right here, and just let you guys know that The Sims 2 is canceled. Yeah, okay. Officially right now, The Sims 2 Let's Play is canceled. I'll be deleting that off my YouTube channel. I'll be getting an external hard drive, which is about 4 terabytes, and I will also be getting a studio quality microphone. I do have a list of things that I want to get for my Let's Plays, and a studio quality microphone is one of them. An external hard drive. I'll just call it an EHD. An EHD. A studio quality microphone. I already have a pair of headphones, but I want to get some other stuff, because I not only do Let's Plays, I do Let's Talks. I want to do the whole podcast thing. Plus I want to be able to make music, because I'm also I really do I really don't write music. I just like karaoke and stuff. I want to be able to have a computer to do karaoke, and microphones. I'll be getting bass guitar, drum set. I want to start a band. I really do. I might end up just doing a one-man band thing. It's worked for people before. I just don't know how to play the guitar. I'll just have to have one of my friends do that, because I've got some family members that could probably record a few licks on their guitar, and I can do the whole bass guitar, do 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 do, and the drum. And I'm also write. And I'm also a writer. I'm also an author. I'm writing a book at the moment, and I have to have plenty of space for my books, the let's plays I do. I have to have an external hard drive to do let's plays, to uh, make music, write my book, and even make movies. Because I want to make I'm planning on doing a documentary of one of my family members. My great grandmother wants to tell her life story, and I want to get my great grandmother's life story on film. And I do have a camera to do that. I'm just not really good at editing it, editing things. I haven't started that yet, but I really want to get into movies, into music, into writing books, even songs. I did write a song maybe 5 or 6 years ago, but I lost it since then. But I want to get into a lot of things: writing books, writing scripts, writing songs, um, making movies, documentaries, maybe even making my own film. I might even take the book I'm writing and turn it into a script. And the funny thing about my book that I'm writing, which is called The Dragon Slayers, it actually started as a song that I wrote. And the song that I had which was about 2 or 3 pages front and back. It was like a standard. It was like I put it on 2 or 3 sheets of paper, of the kind of paper that kids take to school with them to write their homework on and do work on. But they just use computers now. But back when I was a kid, we had to have paper. So I just took 3 sheets of paper, binding whatever kind of paper it is. It has the lines across here, and the blue lines across here, and a red line on the side. Anyway, I took 3 sheets of paper, front and back, wrote a song, and I ended up losing it. I ended up losing the lyrics to the song that I wrote. It was called The Dragon Slayers. And years later, a couple of years later, about about uh, about a good year, about a year ago, I wanted to write. I wanted to uh, trim down the song a bit. I wanted to trim down the song and just just like cut and paste, cut and paste. I wanted to copy the song onto my computer, but I lost the lyrics. And so what I ended up doing was just trying to figure out what I wrote down, and I just said, well, hey, let's just make this into a book. I just started writing it from memory, and I just started thinking up of some things. I basically, what I did from memory, I used the lyrics that I had that I still remembered as a synopsis for my book. It's about dragon slayers that it's it's a fantasy kind of it's a fantasy book that I'm writing. I could end up making it into a movie, but the basic synopsis of it is it starts off in the medieval era. In the medieval times where dragons rule the land, where wizards and witches and all that, but no dwarves, no dwarves, no elves. I'm not going to get into the whole Dungeons and Dragons or Lord of the Rings thing. This will not have dwarves, no elves. Unfortunately, I just don't want dwarves or elves in this. It will have witches, it will have wizards. But the thing about my book is it it will have wizards, and the characters that I'm in this book, it's basically a family of dragon slayers. It's kind of a family tradition of sorts, but they don't really start off as dragon slayers. They really don't. A dragon. The book starts off with the main character Lycos being woken up by a big, huge explosion in his village, and he wonders what that is. So he just runs out the door, darts out the door, and just looks around and wonders what was that explosion. And he just sees a big fireball, big fireball, just blowing up part of the town. Then he hears this roar. Then he hears the roar. He sees the dragon. He goes back inside his home. Heard a car outside my house driving down the road. Anyway, he hears the roar of the dragon. Goes back inside. Tells his family what's going on. His mom and dad, his brothers, what's going on. They get their gear on. They get their swords. Or they put on all their gear. They put on their armor on. They get their swords and shields and spears and axes, and they go out and they fight the dragon, and they end up on the way to the dragon. They have to get out of the way of the dragon's fire breath. The dragon sees them coming and shoots a fire breath at them, and they just dive off into a ditch or behind a fallen tree to take cover. And all of a sudden, a wizard just strolls right by and stops in the middle of the road, looks at them and says, "I can give you the power to defeat this dragon." And Alexander, which is the father, Alexander looks over at the wizard Morpheus and says, "We'll take it." They took it without question. They said, "We'll take it." So the wizard uses it starts an incantation that they don't know. They don't know anything about wizardry or incantations. They have no clue at what Morpheus the wizard is saying. So they're all standing there waiting for something to happen, and all of a sudden they start glowing. They start glowing. The Morpheus starts his incantations of this supposed power to defeat the dragons, and they start glowing. Alexander and Lycos and all the rest start glowing. And then they stop glowing, and the wizard says it's done. You now have the power to defeat the dragon. So they now go and fight the dragon, and they kill it. They kill the dragon, and then on the way back, they start to talk with Morpheus. They start to talk with him, ask him what his name is. He says his name is Morpheus, as I've already told you. And he ends up starting to get into he starts acting strange. Morpheus starts acting strange, and Alexander, who's the monarch of the family, he's the dad. He's basically Alexander's maybe in his 50s and maybe in his 50s and 60s, and all of his kids, like Lycos, and I forgot all the other names of all the other characters, but there's basically 3 brothers. There's Lycos and 2 more brothers, and then there's Alexander, who's the dad, and I'd have to go back to my notes, but I'll put up another video on YouTube to explain my book. But anyway, I'll put up another part. I'll put up a separate video talking about my book. But anyway, back to what I'm about to say. So the Let's Plays are canceled until further notice. I have to get an external hard drive, so expect episode 3 of Let's Talk real soon, real soon. I want to get some. I want to get instead of just me talking, I want to get some people here with me to talk. I don't know who I'm going to get. It'll have to be at a time when I can do this. I have to find somebody to talk with, or I can just do episode 3 of me by myself. I've done the pilot episode plus episodes 1 and 2 of Let's Talk, but just by myself. And you did see my grandmother come in the background. She ended up talking. I did talk with my mom about the Undertaker and WrestleMania 29. But expect episode 3 of Let's Talk real soon. But as of right now, The Sims 2 Let's Play is canceled. I have to cancel it because I don't have enough space on my computer right now. Like I said earlier, it's about 78 gigabytes I have left of space on my computer, and I have to save that space for other things that I want to do. So once I get an external hard drive, and it's going to be a few months, it's going to be a long, long while before I get the it's going to be a long while. It's going to be a few months before I can get a hold of an external hard drive, plus the studio quality microphones and all the stuff that I have on my list. So I'm just rambling here. I'm just rambling about random topics, but I will put up a I will do I think the next episode of Let's Talk will just be me talking about my book. So next time I'll try on episode 3 of Let's Talk, I will have notes in front of me. Normally on Let's Talk, I just talk about random topics at the top of my head. But since I've been talking about my book here on this video, I'll be sure to put notes in front of me of my book. I'll get the names of all my characters that are in the book, and I'll basically go down. I'll put together a synopsis of the book, and I'll put it up. And I'll talk about it on episode 3 of Let's Talk. So stay tuned for that. So stay tuned for the next episode of Let's Talk, episode 3 of Let's Talk. I will post things on Facebook and Twitter about episode 3 of Let's Talk. It will be a live stream. It will be a live stream, so be sure to tune in whenever I can get a. I'll post a video here on YouTube, and then that video that I post will be probably like a short minute, like a 2-minute video giving you the date and time of when my live stream of episode 3 of Let's Talk will happen. So, until next time, guys, I'm Rebel405, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.